So I want you to applaud for Glenn. Keep it going. And I want you to raise that energy for John Kay.
When I was 22 years old and living in Bloomington, Indiana, I was charged and arraigned for crank calling a PBS fund drive. And Sarah, PBS, I am such a nerd, I know. But it's cooler than you think, because when you call the cute girl up in college and I say, turn on the TV, it's PBS, she goes, oh my God, all those people back there, what are they doing? I'm doing that. It's like having a remote control that goes through the TV. And they're all looking, and I think it's funny, and I go to sleep. What's not funny is when Detective Snyder calls you the next morning from the police department, says, is this John? We need to talk with you about a little bit of harassment. What's not funny is when you sit across from him at a table, it looks like a doctor's examining table, and he reads you your Miranda rights. And part of you is going, oh my God, I've been Mirandized. And part of you is going, that is so cool. And at one point he brings out the LUDs, and it's like an episode of Law and Order, and he's got, I've got the LUDs, you know, these phone logs. I know you did it. And he puts his arm around me, and Detective Snyder way, the big pot belly, and, you know, Southern Indiana sheriff, the mustache says, John, I know you did it, son. I know you did it, but I'm going to go easy on you. If you cop to it, I won't arrest you in front of your friends. I think, well, that's good news. Worst thing that's going to happen to you is you're going to get 3 or 4 days on a road crew in an orange jumpsuit. And I'm thinking, wait a minute. My friends would love to see me in an orange jumpsuit to slow down at 15 miles an hour to hurl beer cans at me and then insist through the big guy with the guns and the sunglasses that I then pick them up. So I'm thinking, you know what? I'm going to take that Miranda and double down. I'm going to be silent. I'm going to get me a lawyer. It's exactly what I do. But I'm a student and I'm broke. So I look through the phone book, and everybody who says first consultation free, that's my guy. And everybody I go to in Southern Indiana says, that charge is chicken shit. One after the other. And I swear this is true. Every 3 or 4 of them, chicken shit. Son, that is chicken shit, chicken shit, chicken shit. And I'm thinking to myself, there's a penal code in Indiana, special bar exam, and that's true for Indiana lawyers. It is, look it up. They have to take a special one, and there must be a section called chicken shit, and I'm sitting right in the middle of chicken shit row, and I am home free, and I lawyer up, and I file for a trial by jury, and I file for a public defender, and I've got Aaron Brockovich on my DVD, and I am living it up, and I'm like, there you go, Detective Snyder, there you go. And I take the summer off, and everything is good, and I go to my mailbox in the fall, and I come back, and it says WTIU versus John Kelleher, and I go, oh, crap. Of course, I leave it on the copier for everyone to see, because I'm copying it to friends. Is this serious? And I get a bench date. Now, a bench date feels a lot like this. Really. It's a microphone. It's a lot of people out there going, what did this guy do? And this better be interesting. With the exception that instead of bright lights and darkness here, it's a bench and a robe with a black robe judge in it and a gavel. And you stand up in front of him in a microphone about this tall, and he says, John Kelleher, you are charged with harassment, with intent not to communicate. And suddenly, your knees buckle, and it's very, very serious, and he says, guilty or not guilty. And I want to say, Judge, chicken shit, right? Chicken shit. You feel that? Chicken shit. And all the fun I've been having isn't fun anymore because I realize this is wheat and chaff and goats and sheep and guilty or not guilty and the footnote on my job application in which I laugh and say, hey, I love to be a teacher and work with children. Harassment, let me explain how crazy fun that was when I dialed. And you've lost. Everyone in this room knows you have lost that job forever. And my knees get weak, and my mouth is as dry as a tongue depressor. And it is a singular feeling when your soul leaves your body and everything is hanging on the line. And it's all I can do to say, no, not guilty. Good, go see the public defender. And the public defender meets with me, and he says, chicken shit. This is the thing. I didn't like the program I was in. I didn't like the idea that this was going to haunt me, so I left town. I left town. It just wasn't where I wanted to be, and I didn't want to wait around for this not to be chicken shit, and I figured if I walked away like a train in Wile E. Coyote and pulling down the little thing, and it wasn't going to hit me. And I sweat that out. I imagine it went away, but I honestly don't know. And now it's many years later, and I'm sure it did. But I became a teacher. I taught overseas. I taught in 3 different states. I have licenses in my wallet. I could just lay them out to you. And every time that I put my fingers on that fingerprint check that goes to the FBI, all I ever heard was guilty or not guilty.
John, ladies and gentlemen, keep it going, please. Lovely.